Good day, rescue enjoyers. I hope you're doing right, because it's time for the predictions video. Yes, just a good 4 hours ago, all of these skins rotated into Rustor, and basically in this video, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profits. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. Right, this Rustor, very nice, very appealing, much better compared to like the previous weeks in terms of investing. Now, I have to bring this up to you. Every single skin here is abnormal. All 10 skins are abnormal. If you don't understand what abnormal skins are, please consider watching my most recent Rust Skin Abnormal Barders video for August 22, 2024. Watch the first 5 minutes, scroll down, skip ahead to the Barders chapter. Basically, just to give you a very brief summary, abnormal skins, they become marketable before the Rustor even rotates. A good 12 to 20 hours beforehand. We know when the abnormals are going to become marketable. We know what prices we want to offer by then. So basically it's a rush to basically be potentially the fastest person to put a barter down in hopes of picking up these skins for a cheaper price in the future. Very useful, because during those next 12 to 20 hours, whilst we're waiting for the actual Rustor to rotate, we can see how many barters have happened, we can see what the support looks like, and it's going to be a whole lot more easier to figure out, oh, you know what, there's a lot of support for the skin, I actually might go ahead and buy some. It's very useful. Please consider watching my stream next week on Wednesday night. Look in the description right now to see the links to my socials, more specifically my Twitch, because it's going to be very, very helpful and important, so please consider doing that. Right, so looking at all of these skins, what potentially is looking to be the best investment for this week? Now, I really do want to talk about that frog chair. However, it's awkward. Whilst there's a lot of positive things to say about it, I just can't fully justify confidence. So I'm going to save that for last. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just a matter of I really don't know. So I'm saving that for last. With all these remaining skins, what's looking appealing? What potentially will work out ever so nicely eventually in the future? And I'm looking at the Redemption Python. This is interesting, purely based on the idea that it has a transparent aim sight. Now, looking at all the Python skins that exist in terms of price, you will see that a certain blackout Python skin is doing very nicely. Now, that right there is being manipulated. We're not going to count that. The actual genuinely most valuable Python skin is the Blackout Python, currently listed at $14 with 19,000 subscribers. It did ever so nicely, purely based on the fact that it has a very useful transparent aim sight. That came out in late 2022, and ever since then it's been rising ever so graciously. Nothing else compared to it until today, because with the likes of our brand new Redemption Python, it has the exact same aim sight. Now, if you want to get a much better look at the likes of all of this, please consider watching my Rustor rotation video, or potentially by then I'll have a short video showcasing all of this. So go to my YouTube, look at the shorts, you'll probably see it there. But the exact same aim sight right there. Now, the beautiful thing is that this is selling for $2.49, not $14. And here's another useful thing to be aware of. We've been in this situation before with Redemption and Blackout. So a good, year ago, we happened to have the likes of a brand new MP5 skin coming out. I'm not talking about Blackout, I'm talking about Redemption. Now, Blackout MP5 had that ever so useful cutout transparent aim sight. You could see a little bit more, and that made it a lot more valuable. Well, guess what? Last year, we had the Redemption MP5 coming out, and it sold at a much cheaper price in the Rustor. $2.99 compared to the Blackout price of $8 on the Steam market, if I could recall. Anyway, the exact same aim sight right there. So we're kind of in a very similar spot, because guess what? This came out during August last year as well. Now, as you can see, this is currently selling at $4, yet it's sold in the Rustor for $3. Reliable, potentially. But please be aware of its sales history. And as you can see, it's a bit funny. It's a bit all over the place. So as I said, came out during August, but drops off pretty quickly during October time. But after that, post-Christmas, rises up ever so nicely. Easter time, down. Summertime, up and up. So, I'll be honest with you, this is what I fully expect for the likes of the Redemption Python. It might not be as bad. I don't think the Redemption Python is going to sell as much as the MP5. The MP5 did like 24,500 subscribers. At the current rate of sales I'm looking at the Python, I'm getting a good feeling it probably is only going to reach around the same amount of sales that the Blackout Python had, which will probably be around 20,000. But still, this is very likely going to be the exact same behaviour we'll see for our Python. Now, I will bring this up. It's not something I fully believe will happen to the Redemption Python, but when the Blackout one came out, it instantly went up to $4. Will the same happen to that? Will you have a lot of support to keep your price up and keep you stable? I think it'll be stable. I just don't think it's going to be perfectly fine all the time in terms of staying in the positive. Cool looking skin. Will you sell a lot? That's the main question. So I'm going to look at that next Wednesday when I do my abnormal orders. We'll be figuring out prices, but the main thing that we're going to be concerned about, how much will be sold by then. If it does less than 20,000, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's okay. We're not going to complain about that. If it sells more than 20,000, we'll question things. But yeah, it's in an interesting spot. Honestly, you could buy some, wait a year, sell during the summer of 2025. I could see it reliably doing nicely. Look, if it went up to $4, it's still good profit. It might not be insane profit, so consider how much you potentially want to buy. The smartest approach is usually to wait until Wednesday, see how many sales, then consider, doing the buyers first, then doing the actual purchases afterwards, if there's enough support for the skin. So you get the idea. Okay, cool. Right then, so it looks appealing, it looks nice. We can give it that. So putting that aside, what else is looking to be very appealing in terms of looking like it's going to retain value, doing quite nicely? As much as I want to talk about the armour, I think the Ultramarine Sleeping Bag might just pip it in terms of my interest. So, we got a lot of interesting skins this week, and chances are that sleeping bag might not sell too much, and we saw something very similar happen last year. So let me just quickly close some tabs down, and let's go remind you all about the Abyss Sleeping Bag. Now, I talked about this during the likes of my Rust Rotation video, but we're in a very, very, very similar spot. So the Abyss Sleeping Bag came out during a week where there was a lot of other skins, and it just didn't really sell that much. It didn't have a lot of interest. But the Abyss collection, it's been always doing quite nice in terms of keeping interest, keeping demand. During the summer, literally just this past summer, all of the skins here did very, very nicely, except the tier 3, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, this rose up all the way to $6. And I'm not surprised, because when it came out, as I said, it didn't sell that much, quite a low amount, especially compared to all the other Abyss skins, and we keep seeing more Abyss skins being produced and accepted. The demand is still staying strong. With the likes of Ultramarine, don't you think the exact same thing potentially could happen? Yes. If this only does about 11,000 subscribers, exactly like the Abyss Sleeping Bag, I can't help but assume it's going to probably emulate the exact same behaviour and potentially double in price by next year. Okay, so let's just go through all the details. Over the past 4 weeks, we have been very successful with this collection. It's beaten the 2024 Deplorable Curse. It's had more than 3 skins accepted. That's a bit of a miracle. The only other collection to do that was Shadowborn. So looking at this, yes, all the Deplorables are doing very nicely at the moment because we keep getting more and more accepted instantly. Over the course of this upcoming weekend, will there be another Ultramarine skin being produced by the skin creator? Wouldn't doubt it. What's it going to be? Don't know. Small box? A double door? Armoured door? A rug? A water purifier? Who knows? Maybe a chair. Anyway, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see an Ultramarine skin next week. But to see more eventually, I fully expect that. I know the skin creator will keep putting them out. So, if we don't see that many sales happen to this, and if you look at all the deplorables here, 29,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 14,600 subscribers, it's slowly going down. Will that do more than this or less? I think it will still be less, or at least evens. If we only end up with around 11,000 subscribers by next Wednesday, I think I'm going to do a very decent barter on it, and I think I'm going to be probably buying some. Because not buying any Abyss sleeping bags last year really annoyed me. I was going to, I didn't buy them fast enough, and I missed out on good profit, because I knew eventually it's going to rise up ever so nicely, so it is what it is. So that sleeping bag, if everything lines up perfectly for it, it does look quite appealing. But will we continue to see more of these Ultramarine skins being accepted? It could suddenly just stop now, and we'll see no more. But Jiba, it's not like he has a lot of collections to go back to. He quite literally has this and the things we saw last year. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if at some point, next year, he'll probably come back to it, produce more skins for it, and, we'll see more acceptances. So we just need to see what happens next. But things are aligning where it's looking quite appealing. So I feel like I've made my point. Let's move on. Clothing and armour. I'm going to sit here and say both the clothing and the armour are in the same position in terms of my confidence. So, I'm speaking more specifically the Heavy Knight hoodie and pants and the Tier 2 armor. By default, if we see any continuations for the Heavy Knight, whether it's Tier 2 or Tier 3 armor, or for likes of the Cargo Heli, whether it's hoodie and pants or Tier 3, so as long as we see it, everything's fine. Boots and gloves as well. Boots and gloves as well, yeah. So both of them are in the exact same spot, but at the very least, Heavy Knight has the jacket that came out beforehand. Yes, that got bought out. That went up even higher. That's like $5 now, isn't it? Okay, it's 10. Well, that's a buyout. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay at that price, but it's quite amazing to see. Okay, cool. Now, yeah, when new core pieces are accepted, pre-existing core pieces tend to spike in price. That's not a core piece, but it's still a clothing piece, and it obviously appreciated these appearing. So cool. How much will that sell? We'll see. Same thing applies to the likes of this Tier 2 armor. I don't fully know what that's going to be. As much as I can make a guess right now, I'd be better off looking at the first 24 hours of sales or the first 48 hours of sales and making an estimate there. Consider watching my 48-hour analysis. We literally do that. Break it down and figure out how many sales are going to happen, and we can start preparing if we want to jump in and do some early investments and whatnot. So yeah, cool. But yeah, it's just a by default sort of situation. Now earlier, me and my chat did kind of look at the likes of Cargo Heli, matching it up with the likes of Flashbacks, hoodie and pants, as a potential budget green camouflage. Because when you're at a distance, you don't even see the orange. The transparency just shows green. It might be interesting for you to consider watching that video when it's eventually uploaded, which will probably be the Saturday, yeah. So, okay, something for you to keep an eye out for. But yeah, it is looking pretty interesting. Maybe this might end up getting a few more sales. We shall see. So next Wednesday, we'll see how much sales have happened for both of them, and we'll consider how we approach it. Sounds good? Cool. Then we end with the likes of the gold chains, Roadsign gloves. Now, look, listen. It's nice to see more of this collection, but it's a very weird collection. It's a poncho, it's leather gloves, it's Roadsign gloves. It's kind of odd. Now, the skin creators did try and get the likes of more out of this collection. They did produce, it just wasn't accepted. I'm kind of upset we never got the burlap head wrap because that did look cool. But anyway, that's primitive skins. We saw the likes of like hoodie and pants, boots and gloves. Like that got accepted. That's more recent though. That was uploaded separately. I think they need to make the boots pure gold. I think they need to, like, no more tiger stripes. Gold and only gold. Maybe that works out. We'll see. I'm pretty sure they'll be making another gold chain skin soon. Not sure what it's going to be, but I think they need to make it more gold than like tiger stripes. So we'll see what becomes of it. But we went like 3 months without a skin accepted for this. Yeah, 3 months. Ooh, and it's literally just this. It's not exactly a fully well fortified, supportive collection, no. So by default, part of me thinks those Roadsign gloves are probably going to dip down a fair bit. But the idea of wearing golden gloves to, with your setup or whatnot, I mean, it does sound appealing, and quite a lot of Roadsign gloves, they do end up in the positive. A few do go down a fair bit though, so it's questionable. I get the feeling it might go down a bit, but not too much. But it is $2.49. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more gold chain skins potentially being produced later. So it's a bit all over the place, but I think I will just stick with doing a milder. It feels like the safest option to go. However, you never know what might be accepted in the future. Keep an eye on the workshop. That's all I can say. Now we can talk about the frog chair. There's a lot of weird stuff to bring up with the likes of this, but after you've heard me, you probably will understand why I can't confidently just sit there and say, I'm confident in it. So let's jump in. Chair skins. I can confirm to you, throughout all of this year, I've not actually seen a proper skin creator produce a proper chair skin until now. This was an early pick. I got to point this out. All the skins here this week, except the hoodie and pants, were early picks. So please consider watching my Rust Workshop skin check, so I talk about all the newest Rust Workshop skin submissions. Quite literally, Frog Chair was the very first skin I talked about. And another special thing was talked about right after that, but we'll talk about that in a second. So basically, that being accepted, cool, but the stars align perfectly for it, and I get the feeling I know why that was accepted. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Anyway, the first marketable chair skin in 4 years. The Ice King pack was a DLC. It's not tradable. So, all right, this is interesting. This is pretty special. With the sheer lack of options, right, these chair skins have been rising up in price quite nicely. role player thing, yeah, okay, cool. But these are funny. They glow in the dark, and if you look at them at night time, they could scare your like friends. So it just looks like that. It's kind of creepy. So if you get a group of them and like turn off all the lights, you're going to see that. Okay, I could see that being appealing, but the whole frog aesthetic, the frog themes, I get the feeling that's going to be getting quite a boost. Now, what's all this about? So basically, if you haven't like seen this for yourself, I have. Okay, let's just go to Play Rust. I should have had this up, but By the way, Vaser's produced something really cool there. But anyway, look at this. Yep, we got this little video earlier today from Face Punch themselves, and it looks like we are getting a frog boot hat. It's called a WELLIPETS hat. We've been aware of this for quite some time now. It is literally the frog boots. You know what they are. If you bought Rust when it was still in early access, when it came out of early access, everyone who owned it beforehand got the free frog boots. This is its sequel, its brother, its weird hat alternative. Okay, no, you get the idea. Now, with people seeing that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be wanting frog stuff. And Face Punch clearly saw the likes of that chair. The guy that made this, just perfect timing. They were in a froggy mood, and they accepted that. Now, in terms of the WELLIPETS hat, let's talk more about that. So, you might have noticed on the commits, a lot of mentions in regards to Twitch drop renders have been happening. There is potentially two ways this could go. WELLIPETS is going to be a Twitch drop, as a generic drop potentially, for a September drop. Now, I know what's going on for the September batch of Twitch drops. It's not officially revealed, but keep an eye on Twitter. Let's just say, officially, some people have revealed they are captains. So think of that what you will. But the official reveal probably will happen on Twitter, and the proper announcement will probably happen in the September Force White blog post. So consider giving an eye out for the likes of that. Anyway, it's either probably going to be like the furnace. Do you remember the legacy furnace that was given away during December? If you played like 6 hours of Rust, you got it for free. Maybe that's what it's going to be like. Or maybe it's just going to be a Twitch drop. But yeah, Twitch drops are being cooked. We are definitely getting Twitch drops in September. Potentially about 2 weeks' time. Yeah. So get yourself nice and prepared for the likes of that. So I'm not sure what's going on, but more frog-related skins potentially causes the frog skins to rise up in demand. Now, I believe Wen's Whip actually got bought out today. Yes, it did. It didn't go up to an insane price, but a much better price. So yeah, Wen's Whip got bought out, and if that went up in price today, I'm thinking a lot more potentially could follow suit. The Frog Collection could potentially really appreciate the Wellington boot hat. All right. Now, as much as you can sit there and say that looks goofy, I would like to counter your point and say you'd look absolutely wonderful. So, cool. You know, a lot of people are going to wear that. Not seriously, but you get the idea. You know, it's going to be goofy, it's going to be silly, and maybe we'll get some more frog-related free skins in the future. So if you think all of that's going to potentially give that a nice boost, cool. Now here's the next potential negative. Other skin creators will see that got accepted today. Do you reckon they're going to feel compelled to make chair skins now? It might be really hard to produce chair skins. We don't know that. I don't know that, but I'll probably find out in a bit. But you never know. Maybe we'll get an Ultramarine chair skin, or a Redemption chair skin, or a Blackout chair skin. I don't know, but you get the idea. There might be a lot more. That would definitely cause this to lose a lot of attention, lose value. It would drop off pretty badly. Do you remember when ponchos suddenly started getting a ton of acceptances, and then all the skin creators started producing ponchos every single week? And then with the double doors this year, sheepmen and double doors, once the skin creators see it's a reliable thing that could get picked every week, they go ahead and produce more of those. It's as simple as that. So we'll see what becomes of this. But yeah, it's a bit all over the place. I'm very sorry, but you can understand why I can't sit here and give you a solid answer as to what I'm going to do about that. That's abnormal. That's useful. Wednesday night, we can do our abnormal barders. We can look and see how much support it has. If we don't see any other chair skins anytime soon after this, totally fine. If we do, so at the very least, we can look out over the course of this weekend, looking at the workshop, and we can see potentially what's going to happen. I don't seem to have the actual workshop page. There we go. Perfecto. Looks like someone's already, submitted a skin there, so that's interesting. So yeah, that's all I can say. It's a bit all over the place, but there's a lot of things on the horizon. Keep an eye on the commits. Frontier High Caliber Revolver. Ooh, new content on the horizon. And you'd know about that by looking at commits. So look in the description, all the details are there, the links, the websites, it's all there. Now, one extra thing that I feel like I should just quickly point out to you is something I saw from Cyfex on Twitter. I have it linked in the description. He has a video quite literally showcasing all the new wallpapers. I get the feeling the wallpapers are probably ready for the September Force Wipe. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a DLC, so we'll see how this all turns out. But yeah, all the wallpapers are there. I'm not going to sit here and wait forever, so cool. And go ahead and thank Cyfex for showcasing all of that. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I got that all out of me. So yeah, keep an eye on Twitter. Pretty sure we're probably going to see some reveals of Twitch drops and who's involved over the course of this week and next week. Double thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching me. Best of luck to you and your investments. My throat's dying. I'm going to go to bed. Bye.